Hi everyone, my name is Christina and I'm an implementation consultant at Prosymmetry. In this video, I will be reviewing how to use planning intervals in Tempus. Planning intervals are used to create important time markers for your project portfolios to represent global milestones like a new sprint planning period or a freeze period, for example. With planning intervals, you can create, sort, and edit them. You can view them in the single project allocation grid, as well as the bulk project allocation flat grid. Let's take a look in Tempus at where you can access these planning intervals and where you can see them throughout your views in the system. These planning intervals are meant to represent milestones that affect all projects. If you want to create a milestone that only affects one project, you will need to use the Project Milestones feature in Tempus. Access to planning intervals is defined by your global role permission in role management. To create a planning interval, you will visit Admin Settings and then Planning Intervals and click Create. You can see I've already created a planning interval out in my environment called New Sprint. I've given it a date, a color, and I can delete it if I need to. Let's create a new planning interval together. I will click Create. I'll give it a name, such as Freeze Period. I'll give it a date. Let's choose January 1st. And I'll select a color for it and click Create. Once created, planning intervals will appear in both the single project allocation grid and the bulk project allocation flat grid. So let's look at an example. I will go out to my home screen and click on Project Management, and I will click into one of my projects. On the allocations grid, I will select the options. On the allocation screen, I will select the options button and toggle on planning intervals. When I do that and I scroll over, I can see the two planning intervals I have created out in my single project allocation grid. I can do the same thing if I click back to my home screen and go to the bulk project allocation flat grid. Within my flat grid, I can select the options button and toggle on show planning intervals. When I do that, I can now see the planning intervals represented in my flat grid. This serves as an important time marker I should be aware of as I adjust allocations in Tempus. Having these planning intervals represented in your allocation grids gives your users important time markers that they should be aware of as they adjust allocations throughout Tempus. This wraps up creating and using planning intervals in Tempus. I would encourage you to take a look at the Help Center section on this feature as well for an additional resource. Thanks and have a great day.